It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. On a Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. Before we get into our regularly, it's a hard word to say, by the way. Before we get into our regularly scheduled stupid content, DFW area has been hit with more sad news. And it affects us and you here inside the Treehouse. On Sunday night around 11 p.m., a Terrell police officer was killed during a traffic stop. According to police, the incident occurred when the officer, identified by Terrell police as Jacob Candanoza, stopped a driver in the parking lot of a Super 8 motel along the 1600 block of South State Highway 34. Police said Candanoza requested a cover unit during the traffic stop, and additional officers were sent to the location. Within moments of dispatching the other officers, the Terrell Police Department Communications Division received 2 911 calls regarding an officer being shot. The department also received a radio transmission from a citizen who used the officer's radio to give the same information. Terrell police officers, as well as the Terrell Fire Department and Care Flight, responded to the scene. According to police, the responding officers confirmed an officer had been shot and immediately began to administer medical attention. Officer Candanoza was transported to Baylor Scott and White Family Medical Center in Forney, where he later succumbed to his injuries. Officer Candanoza was a police officer with the Terrell Police Department since July of this year. The department said he leaves behind a wife and a young child. According to Lieutenant Mary Hager of the Terrell Police Department, we want to extend our deepest condolences to the family during this hard time. Also, according to Hager, Candanoza gave the responding officers the suspect's license plate information following the traffic stop. Off-duty officers and Texas state troopers later spotted the suspect's vehicle in the Canton, Texas area in Van Zandt County, about 30 miles east of Terrell. Officers searched the area by foot with canines and drones. Yes, East Texas has drones. And reported that the suspect had been taken into custody around the Mill Creek Resort off I-20 around 5:30 in the morning Monday, was being held at the Kaufman County Detention Center. Terrell Police Chief Arlie Sansom said before dawn on Monday that this has been a very difficult time for his department and that they would release more information later. Terrell Police, at the time of this recording and at the time of this particular story from NBC DFW, Terrell Police have not shared any additional information or really any information about the suspect that was apprehended. Yes, the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation will be issuing a check to the family of Officer Jacob Candanoza in an extremely similar incident to the situation that just happened in Greenville, Texas. Another young officer who had left behind a young family. And in this instance, this location of this incident, it falls within the boundary of the foundation. So we will be able to issue a check to his surviving members of his family, unlike the situation of the Greenville officer where that fell outside the territory. I say all that because we always want to remain transparent with the foundation, as we always have, because it's not our money in there. I mean, there's some of our money in there, but the vast majority of the money that's in the foundation is your money, the listeners' foundation. That's what it is. And as stewards of the foundation, it is our job to then disperse the funds according to the bylaws that were enacted by Russ Martin and Trey years and years ago. So that will be happening. And we also received word that Officer Candanoza, while he was only with Terrell since July of this year, he was prior to that, a Dallas County Sheriff's deputy. So, once again, I mean, it's one of those situations that it's on an outer area of what's considered DFW or the Metroplex, but this does fall within the geographical boundary of the foundation, and will be issuing funds for his family. And this will be the fourth check that the foundation will have written since August, just since August. And it's the fifth officer since August to fall in the line of duty. So in that time, just since August, the foundation has issued 4 checks. And in order to keep issuing those funds, especially at the dollar amount at which we issue them, which is $40,000, we need more money. And if, we'd like to continue to do that. In order for us to do it, they're just, you got to have more money in it. That's the unfortunate clear and cut reality. So if you would like to donate to the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation, you may do so. Go to treehouseonair.com, click on listeners donation or the tab at the top. There are all the ways to donate right there.
And I'd like to say something because I've thought about this, and we can edit this out, Dan, if you so choose. But so everyone understands, like even with the situation with the Greenville officer, when someone passed away, had they stuck to their original will and not given their entire estate to the owner of an adult theater, we probably could have extended the parameters of the foundation.
I thought about that occasionally. I have.
So.
Just a whole lot of head nodding going on in here. So yeah, if you would like to donate, where the money goes to the families of fallen police officers and firefighters in DFW, you can do so. Go to treehouseonair.com and click on Listeners Foundation, or the little tab at the very top that says RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation Donate tab. You can do that right there. In the meantime, we still have a show to do, and we are going to do it. And while remembering, the fallen officer and those that have fallen before him, we'll continue to do what we do in hopes that we can continue to do those other things that we also do. Which sounds very vague if taken out of context, but trust me, it's not all just, boogers and farts. There's also some actual philanthropy going on around here.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Let's get Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the Treehouse. 833-COOK-DFW for your free roof inspection. The website, cookdfw.com. You guys do lots of great work on roofs, and the restoration part of the side of the business also means, you're doing remodeling work underneath the roof inside the home as well. And you were telling me just recently that you, Daniel, and Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration offer lifetime warranties on all your work.
Yeah, Dan, that's something that we talked about for a while now, and we decided to go ahead and just pull the trigger on it. We've had excellent reviews. We've had excellent referrals. People really love our work when they give us a chance, and we just want to put our money where our mouth is. And, that's the best way I can always say that is just back it up. Back it up. When I was growing up and I told somebody I was going to kick their ass, you got to back it up. Well, now that I'm a grown man and we're doing professional services on people's homes, and I tell them that they're never going to have a better experience, I'm backing it up. We're going to take care of your home because we want you to have that peace of mind knowing that after we left, you have the very best product left behind. Your home is safe. Your family's taken care of, and that you don't have to worry about us not coming back.
You can experience it for yourself, and you can put your money where Daniel's mouth is, and he'll honor it. As you just heard, even if he dies, he's still going to honor this stuff. I mean, that's some serious integrity and quality craftsmanship to have the confidence to be like, yeah, this is how we do things. So you give the man a call for that free roof inspection. 833-COOK-DFW, the website, cookdfw.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
That previous segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. To get your free roof inspection, call Daniel and Kerry Cook today at 833-COOK-DFW. That's 833-COOK-DFW, or the website is cookdfw.com. That is cookdfw.com. You are in the Treehouse. I'm Dan, along with Trey and Raj. Good news, we can cancel that brown alert that we've had out for a few days. We found Raj, and or he found himself, whatever it was. So if you saw him on somewhere along the I-35 corridor and pointed him in the right direction, we appreciate that. And we're glad to have you back inside the Treehouse, buddy.
Thank you, bud.
I figured we could do something to celebrate your grand return inside the Treehouse. Who wants to play Wrong Answers Only?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right. It is time for Wrong Answers Only inside the one and only Treehouse. That is where I will, in today's edition, a holiday edition, pose a headline to Trey and Raj and ask them to fill in the blank with a wrong answer. So, gentlemen, let's get started. A Florida man honors a classic holiday movie with a giant replica blank in his yard. A Florida man, hang on, I've already forgot what it was. A Florida man honors a classic holiday movie with a giant replica blank in his yard. I need your wrong answers only. Raj, what do you have?
Can we say dildo?
I don't know. Can you?
That's what my guess would be. Is a
all right.
Giant replica dildo in his yard.
A nice big holiday dong. No, that is not the correct answer, but that makes it a wrong answer. So good job. Trey, a Florida man honors a classic holiday movie with a giant replica blank in his yard. I need your wrong answer only.
Nakatomi Tower.
Ooh, that is a wrong answer, which makes it a correct answer on Wrong Answers Only. And my God, this game show is confusing. I'm glad I'm not drunk. The correct answer is a Florida man honors a classic holiday movie with a giant replica leg lamp in his yard.
Ah, yes, from the movie you guys love so much.
You still have never seen A Christmas Story, have you?
I did. I watched it. It was
terrible. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, you did watch it, but you hated it.
Yes.
Trampling all over my loving nostalgia.
Yes, and I drunkenly told Peter Billingsley that I didn't like the movie.
That's right. This is not just the time of year to celebrate the birth of Christ, allegedly, but also to celebrate the time that Raj once told the actor who portrayed Ralphie that the movie sucked.
Yes. And he was mad for a second, but he said the same thing. He goes, "When did you watch it?" And I said, "A couple of weeks ago." He goes, "That's why you didn't like it."
Yeah. Because you were how old when you watched it?
45, 44. Right. Yeah.
Had you seen it when you were 4 or 5, you might have loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Trey, you're shaking your head.
Really fragile. Like, how dumb's your dad? Like,
I'm with Raj. I think it's a horrible movie.
Thank you so much.
How dare you?
Yes. It's vindication.
I have never understood people's love and obsession with that movie.
A Christmas Story is not a horrible movie. Zombievers is a horrible movie. A Christmas Story is a childhood classic.
I would rather watch Zombievers for 24 hours on Christmas Day or whatever it is than that crap movie. But the kid who plays in it, he follows me on Instagram, so he kind of likes my posts from here every now and again. So Zach something, I can't remember his name.
I know you're talking about. Yep. Well, you know what? I'll let the local news experts take it from here, telling us about the gentleman in Florida who has the 20-foot leg lamp shrine to A Christmas Story in his yard.
A man in Neptune Beach took his love of a 1980s Christmas movie.
By the way, if you ever wonder what happens to old strip club DJs, occasionally they end up as TV anchors.
And so does old strippers, apparently.
I bet they were great at the Platinum Club together.
Beach took his love of 19.
I could just hear him calling for the shot specials now.
A man in Neptune Beach took his love of a 1980s Christmas movie to the next level.
Yeah, you know it. He recreated the leg lamp from A Christmas Story, but made it larger than life.
This is Gary and Cinnamon from
Yes.
from the
Yes,
News
it
for
is.
from the News for Jacksonville news station.
You're looking at an exact scale replica of the leg lamp from A Christmas Story. It is 420% bigger than the one that appears in the movie, so it's 20 feet tall.
How convenient. 20 feet tall, happens to be 420% larger than the original from the film. Florida's going to Florida each and every time.
Yeah, that's just you. That's when you have too much money. When you
I
can
don't
do
think
this.
that's a whole lot of money because this guy he did it himself. This was a holiday DIY project. Here, let him tell you all the parts that went into making his homemade 20-foot leg lamp. Which, if you notice, around the lower leg of the leg lamp, there's a replica Ralphie in the bunny suit hugging the lower part of the leg.
Oh.
So this is golf netting that I bought off Amazon. It was like $10.
Yep.
The fringe.
Did you catch that? So golf netting is what makes up the fish net. Okay.
Mhm.
Then you got fringe for the edge of the lamp.
18-inch fringe there's a half mile of that. Everyone's decorating their houses, and I thought it'd be fun to have like a neighborhood competition who could have like the best Christmas decorations. And I was tossing and turning one night, and then I had like this epiphany. As a kid in like the 80s, like going to see 2 and 3 movies in a weekend, and now like the movies just don't really do it. People come by and like they're sometimes their kids haven't seen the movie, and they're like, "Oh no, we got to go home, and we're going to force you to watch this movie, a 40-year-old movie with no CGI," and people are still quoting it 40 years later.
It's interesting. So he's got golf netting for the fish net. Then he's got fringe, half mile of fringe around the bottom edge of the lamp. And I'm guessing the lamp shade is made from SpaceX robot parachutes, or maybe just left over from the Columbia disaster.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's when you have too much time and money. That's what it was. And he was tossing and turning and had an epiphany, and that's what he came up with.
I think he's tossing and turning and smoked a second bowl, and then
that's what I was about to say. Like that's a weed thought. Is what makes that happen.
The troubling thing for me is the news crew lets him go on and describing what he used to make the leg lamp, but I don't see the portion in the piece where they ask him about what did you use to make that kid. Like, did someone go up to that Ralphie in the bunny costume and poke him just to make sure it's not somebody's kid? I mean, it is Florida.
Yeah, I mean,
that part-time job, acting gig.
Mm-hmm. Or the fact that shoe is big enough to sleep in, which is maybe the reason why this dude was tossing and turning all night. He was trying to figure out, what am I going to do with this big old shoe? Aha!
I do think you were unfair though when you said disparaging the Jacksonville news team, saying they were former strip club DJ and dancer. I think they might be current, and they just got off shift and then went directly to the morning show.
You know what? You're right. I've assumed too much.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Let's get Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing into the Treehouse now. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, give her and all of them there a call. 214-368-3838. The website, brooksplumbingtexas.com. When I had my house in Dallas, Jacqueline, you came out a few times to help us with some issues, and your response time was phenomenal. And it wasn't just because it was me. It was because that's the kind of company you run. You go out of your way trying to help every client and try to get there as soon as you can.
Well, I mean, the reality of it is that plumbing is unfortunately a need and not so much a want. Yes, you can want to remodel the bathroom and that's not pressing, but typically when it comes to service or leak investigations, et cetera, if you've got a stoppage on the main line and you don't know and you keep putting liquid or, waste into the drains, if it has nowhere to go, it will come back in the house. And at that point in time, it's no longer a want, it's a need. And that sort of thing can't wait. When you have those emergencies, you have got to figure out how to manage the crew so that you can have the best response time.
That's right. And they'll show up and they'll do it quickly. Call Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing for any and all of those plumbing wants and needs. 214-368-3838. And again, that website, brooksplumbingtexas.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
The previous segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Brooks Plumbing. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, call Jacqueline at Brooks Plumbing, 214-368-3838, 214-368-3838, the website, brooksplumbingtexas.com. That is brooksplumbingtexas.com. You are inside the Treehouse. You are welcome. I'm Dan, along with Trey and Raj. Are you a VIP at the cemetery? The grave is about to get crunk, y'all, because in England, a unique cemetery says grieving relatives must pay for VIP passes to visit graves. I don't know if I've ever had to get on the list to see grandma before. But if she starts fist bumping out of that grave, I'm out.
I'd hate to be the bouncer.
If you have a VIP section, you got to have a bouncer. There's got to be a guy with a headset and the clipboard and maybe even a velvet rope.
Yeah, and bottle service. You got to have, you got to pop those bottles.
It's going to look weird to people in the regular section of the cemetery to see you popping bottles next to grandma, but until you've experienced it, I guess you just don't know.
Yeah, that's when you're like, this is how she would have wanted it.
I mean, I think it's got to have, graves or like that one we saw where the guy's in the casket, like it's a taxi and it's spinning around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some, some motion, some theatrics going on here, to give it that true VIP experience.
That makes sense. Like fog machines. Light
sparklers.
Show,
sparklers.
I don't know if I'd go with the black lights as much.
I would hate
pyro,
to
for
tell
sure.
people. I would hate to tell people, what do you do? I'm a graveyard DJ. That's what I do for a living.
They always say
cool.
to stand out, you've got to carve out your own niche there.
What's the playlist? We need to figure that out.
Hey, maybe that news guy in Florida is also the graveside DJ. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta be careful. I'm breaking out my Brokaw. It's time to say goodbye to grandma.
Got shot specials.
$5 fireball, not just for you, but just in case she comes back to life.
$5 fireball, because that's where she's going.
Yeah, it turns out Granny was kind of a bitch. But it really is, man. This is from England. A cemetery has started charging £5 per visit to their loved ones' graves. Grieving relatives can still access the Garden of Remembrance for free between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday to Friday. But after 19 years in operation, the graveyard will soon require the purchase of a one-off VIP pass for visits outside normal operating hours. This costs £5 to visit a grave or cremation plot and £10 per person to visit the Rose Garden.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Electric gates will prevent anyone without a VIP pass from accessing the grounds. Wasn't that a section of Thriller with Michael Jackson?
I mean, so if you get them cremated and keep them at home, you're just having a house party?
Or as Kid and Play would call it, a pajama jammy jam.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You can talk back to us right here inside the Treehouse. Just go to treehouseonair.com, click on the microphone in the lower right-hand corner, and you can leave us a message, and we'll get it here in the Treehouse. That's right. Talk back to us here in the Treehouse at treehouseonair.com. You are in the Treehouse. I'm Dan, along with Trey and Raj. Are you in the mood for some eau de filthy clogged toilette? I know it sounds like an odd question, but you have Miller High Life to thank, because Miller High Life is set to release bar fume that smells exactly like a dive bar. Aren't you excited? Yeah. The scent of the so-called dive bar fume blends cedarwood and patchouli to recreate the smell of a bar counter, tobacco, and leather to evoke those worn-in leather bar stools, sea salt for the basket of fries and popcorn, and champagne blossom to replicate the smell of Miller High Life.
That's just BS. You want to replicate the smell of a dive bar, stale beer, Fabuloso, and vomit.
Yep.
And some cigarette, cigarette smoke.
Yeah, some stale cigarettes. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's it. That's the concoction right there.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't sound as good as cedarwood and and other things. But
yeah,
it's certainly more
wants
accurate.
this?
This is one of those things where it's free marketing for Miller High Life. And if we're being honest, if they have an actual product of it available, it makes for a great holiday gag gift. The only downside is I don't think they're going to be available for your white elephant parties. I don't think they're going to be actually available till next year.
I mean,
Okay.
they say Gen Z is really big into their colognes and perfumes, so maybe it's their way of bringing the high life back.
Yeah, especially since Gen Z doesn't know what the high life is.
Yeah, exactly.
They think they know. They have no idea.
Maybe they're trying to get high life is to be to Gen Z what PBR became to hipsters. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Isn't it the champagne of beers?
Yeah, Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
Yeah.
Whereas like PBR was sort of like the go-to hipster beer, or the millennials choice to be sort of like the down home beer choice. But at the end of the day, it's like at a dive bar, the standard drink order is beer and a shot. So I mean, it's whatever cheap beer and well whiskey you got. But it's apparently just $60 a bottle. And I take it back.
Yeah.
Apparently it is going to be in time for the holidays. They say this bar fume cologne from Miller High Life is currently sold out, but it's also I just trying to find it. Give me a second. High Life is bringing that dive bar scent you know and love to your home with High Life Dive Bar Fume, just in time for the holidays. Happy High Life. That's according to the fragrances listing. The champagne of beers has other beer-themed holiday offerings in its shop, including Miller High Life stockings and Christmas tree ornaments. Instagram users had a field day in the comments of the post announcing the cologne, with one commenter saying, "This was my scent for 7 years." Trey's got you beat. That was his for like 20.
I did not drink High Life. How dare you?
He was
That's
a proper
true.
drunk.
I was
he
a
really
drunk,
was.
but I
Yeah.
had standards. God
That yeah. 'Cause it's not because your haunt was not technically a dive bar. It was the Loon, may she rest in peace, in Uptown Dallas for many, many years. And to me, the Loon was not a dive bar. It was a sort of a under the radar establishment. Because I mean, the Loon didn't even have a sign. You just had to know where it was, and you had to know what it was. If you walked into that place accidentally, everyone can smell it on you, ironically.
Mhm.
But I actually looked up because I was curious. It's like, okay, well, what actually constitutes a dive bar? So I asked Google, and according to the AI overview, a dive bar is a casual, inexpensive drinking establishment that's often old-fashioned, dimly lit, and has a local clientele. They also say here, for the atmosphere, dive bars are typically small, eclectic, and have shabby or dated decor. They may also have neon beer signs. Drinks. Dive bars typically serve a cheap, simple selection of drinks, such as well drinks and beer. The clientele. Dive bars are often neighborhood institutions where local residents gather to drink and socialize. Payment. Dive bars are often cash only. Other features. Dive bars may also sell packaged beer and have an ATM in the back. Something that as Texans, you don't really understand, like having a liquor store attached to a bar is not a thing in Texas. I've seen it in other places, Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not a standard thing in Texas. But I love a good dive bar. But I don't want to smell like one, because to me, another great indicator of a dive bar is no bathroom doors on the stalls. Of course, that could also be a gay bar, so it's just kind of, to each his own.
Yeah. And you have to have the old bartenders, past their prime in the dive bar.
Yeah, at a dive bar, the bartenders are not there for their looks.
Yeah.
In fact, their looks are typically more a scowl.
They don't want to be there either.
No, most of the time they don't.
What's next, though? I mean, is a glitter company gonna, ode to strip club?
Oh no. Day shift.
Yeah, day shift, but they still use glitter. You've got LeBrona James on the main stage, hand clapping the glitter as she comes out. That way, when you go back to the office, everybody knows where you were.
What are you wearing? Day shift for men.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You can advertise right here inside the Treehouse. Just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com. Sponsorship opportunities are available here inside the Treehouse. Treehouseonair@gmail.com. This is the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. In my Google searching about dive bars, there was another interesting result I wanted to share with you guys. And that was an article titled "Dirty, Dank, and Occasionally Dangerous." That's supposedly describing dive bars. It also sounds a little bit like a Diddy party.
I'd just like to back up for 1 second.
That too happens at Diddy parties.
Your Googling of dive bars.
Uh-huh.
Did you do any actual research?
Why are you doing so many bunny ear fingers? You need quotes and research. That's how research gets done. What do you want me to do? Go to a fucking library?
No, go to a dive bar because you haven't spent enough time in one.
Really? Really?
Yeah, because
Trey,
you haven't spent
I
enough time.
live at dive bars.
I know. That's what I'm saying is, you're having to Google dive bar. I feel like
honestly, the only reason I do that. No. See, I Google it because I'm curious to see what the internet's going to say versus my own experiences. Because I know dive bars. I could give you a good list of them. Some of my favorite bars are dive bars. By the way, do you know how dive bar got its original name? Because typically they were the basement bars off the side of streets. Therefore, people would dive into them.
Wow.
Got it. Okay.
That's you.
That's also why the doors need to be padded. So if you ever go into a bar and wonder why it's got padding on the outside, it's because it's a dive bar. That's so stupid. I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
You believed it?
Yeah.
I know it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, but no, I'm just bull all over the place here.
Yeah, but you sold it. You sold it with so much conviction behind when you said it.
Look, it goes to show you can convince people of damn near anything if you just say it properly.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that was why they're called that. But good to know.
No, the diving part, that part's real. The padded part is what I made up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Sorry. But at the same time, it was also like a term I think that came around Prohibition era as well. So we'll kind of dive in. At the same time, not everyone, there's nothing conclusive about it in my online research, if I may use the bunny finger.
Air quotes.
Tray.
Air quotes. I'm just pointing out you've spent plenty of time in a dive bar. You really didn't need to Google a damn thing.
You're right. I'm just curious to see what the internet says. That's all.
Just want to make sure it agreed with you.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I needed to make sure there wasn't a comment section that needed to be set straight. All right. Today is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. Let's celebrate with some birthdays. Raven Simone is 39 today. Got her start on the Cosby Show. I remember her. It's interesting. It's weird because I identified with her so much watching the Cosby Show, not because I was a little black girl, but because she and I are basically at the time we were like close in age. Although now that I'm seeing this, it says that she's only 39, and so that makes me a few years older than her. But still, I was like, hey, someone kind of my age on that show. That's also one of the things that they use to gauge now if a show is on its last leg is when they start introducing new child characters. Trey, why are you looking at me like that? You're looking like all skeptical.
I mean,
like you can't wait to cross-examine me in front of a House Judiciary Committee.
It's just interesting. I mean, you identified with Raven. Was she adopted?
Maybe.
I mean, why not Keisha Knight Pullum? She would have been closer to your age.
Oh, you know what? I got it confused. Keisha was the one that I identified with. Yeah. Raven Simone. I didn't like her because she was the kind of the twerp. You're right. Keisha Knight Pulliam. She and I are like, yeah. She's the one.
I think Raven Simone's doing stand-up now, if I'm correct. I believe she's doing some stand-up comedy out there.
Well, it's better than the guy who played her dad on the Cosby Show. I think he's still at Trader Joe's.
No, he got a gig. Tyler Perry signed him.
Good for him. And let me just say, not that there's anything wrong with that. Trader Joe's is great.
Yeah. I mean, where else can you have a face tattoo and be the general manager?
Maybe as Bill Cosby's celly. So everyone that came out of the woodwork is like, oh my God, that guy's working at Trader Joe's. Well, wouldn't you prefer that versus how Bill Cosby ended up?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to be Cosby's cellmate. You just walk in the first day and he's like, let me see your pudding pop.
I'd actually be kind of excited because that means I get to be the guy that chokes Cosby. Damn predator. Other birthdays today. Thank you, Raven Simone, for turning 39 and reminding me that I'm more closely aligned with Keisha Knight Pulliam. Other birthdays today. Emmanuel Shariki is 49. She played Sloane on Entourage. She was also on The Mentalist, and Lana Lang on Superman and Lois. Big fan of the Emmanuel Shariki. Meg White from The White Stripes is 50. Bobby Flay, the Iron Chef, is 61. Kenneth Branagh, Shakespearean actor and, of course, director and all that good stuff. He is 64 today. Pretty solid resume. Everything from Shakespeare to directing the first Thor movie. Keep that in mind.
Oh, I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, unless I missed a news story, I believe he and Emma Thompson are married. I don't think they've ever. I think they're still together. So good on them, making a Hollywood thing work. Susan Day, who played Lori Partridge on The Partridge Family, and Grace Van Owen on L.A. Law, is 72 today. And Johnny Rodriguez, country singer, he turns 73. He was actually acquitted of murder for the 1998 shooting death of his friend, who he thought was a burglar. Whoops.
This is why I don't own guns. You'll never have to worry about that happening.
I agree. I think it's good that you don't own guns, Raj. But me and Trey, though, could walk into the same room armed, and we're not going to shoot each other.
Yeah, but if he thinks you're an intruder and you're just stumbling in from a dive bar, and then Trey's like, "Oh my, I'm getting broken into," and you're like, "I lost my key."
Trey knows it's me. He knows how I look and smell and act when I'm drunk. Although if it's either if he gives me an option at him shooting me or taking me to an AA meeting, I'll probably ask for the bullet.
Plus, Dan will be wearing his dive bar scent, so I'll smell him from a mile away.
That's right. I'm safe.
You're in the Treehouse.
Nothing bad gonna happen to me.
Online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
I don't want there to be any misinformation out there and then you attribute it later to those idiots in the treehouse. I want to make sure you can properly define dive bar. So I re-Googled it, or as some people would say, I researched it. And according to the AI overview from Google, a dive bar, okay, the term dive was first used in the United States in the 1880s to describe disreputable places that were often in basements. The precise definition of a dive bar is rarely agreed upon and is the subject of spirited debates. I see what he did there. Some say that a dive bar is mostly about feel, while others say it's a place where you see the same folks day after day. I would like to point out that if you're going around feeling a dive bar, you don't belong there.
Yeah.
Because most of the dive bars I've been to, you don't want to touch those walls.
Doesn't say anything about sticky floors or.
It doesn't say anything in there about sticky floors, but I can give you like a quick. I guess we can all, because we've all spent way too much time in bars, and we spent a lot of time in dive bars as well. When we've run the gamut, we've gone high end, low end, we've even hung out in the middle some. But a good dive bar, I think we all know that there are certain tenets. One of which is a strong pour, full of locals, neighborhood establishment. To me, those are some easy dive bar type things. And one of the things we read earlier was maybe sort of an eclectic or old decor.
That's to me, two things that you have to have: dark and a little bit dated, and a little dated.
Yes. Dark and dated, which is also Raj's Hinge profile.
You beat me to it.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say that was my nickname in college.
Also true. Like, all those things work. It's almost like an ad libs for punchline. Just insert your own right there. Yeah, there's the sticky floor thing is part of it, because a lot of times dive bars aren't necessarily the cleanest of bars. because they're big fans of if they wipe it down with a bar rag, then it's clean. Even if that bar rag could itself order a drink legally.
If there's a popcorn machine, I can always tell. If you walk in and there's a popcorn machine in there, I'm like, they're not really worried about you eating.
Mm-hmm. I also like, and this is one of those things that's not common in Texas, but I've seen it in my travels around the world, and by the world I mean Michigan, which is and actually a portion of Washington State. I've seen this as well, where they have the grill for the food is basically next to the bar.
Yeah.
So you may actually have the bartender frying some fries next to making your drink.
Yeah. Solid.
Mm-hmm.
Totino's, if there's a pizza little toaster oven there. Oh, solid.
I think that's going more upscale. Because I mean, if you have a bar that's got a pizza oven, I mean, come on.
Oh, I said toaster oven and $1 Totino's.
That place sounds awesome. That might be considered a dive bar, but I mean, I'll tell you right now, some of my favorite dive bars, if they had a Totino's coming out of a toaster oven, oh yeah, I'd probably live there. Although it does make you wonder, how is it that the Lakewood Landing in Dallas, how do they not have a Totino's coming out of a toaster oven? That's really about the only thing they're missing.
Yeah, they're busy with those little corn dogs, I guess.
Damn, those are good.
Corn dog bites?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Solid.
Also some damn good wings.
Oh, okay. So that's not divey then. The food is.
Oh, Lakewood Landing is as divey as you get.
Mm-hmm. Like, not only are there photos up of the regulars, but the regulars and the photos of them are now turning into a memorial wall.
I was going to say in memoriam.
That's another big indicator of a dive bar. Like when the bar stools say, "Here sat Jeff." Or Dan. This corner of the bar dedicated to Raj, nicknamed Dark and Dated. Thanks for hanging out with us inside the Treehouse. Follow all things Treehouse at treehouseonair.com and on social media. It's at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, at Trey Trenholm 1, and for Raj, at Comedian Raj. We will see you back inside the Treehouse tomorrow.